Some fragrances make you feel special. The moment you wear them, you kind of get lost in a magical world, and they just make you think that you are special, and it kind of brings a fabulous experience on you. And one such fragrance that did this to me recently was from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi, called as Shaikh. Okay, so this is a fab fragrance in my opinion. We will figure out why it is such a good opinion, why there are such a big fan following for this particular fragrance, all about it in this particular video. You're watching the Perfume Experience. My name is Rodney. Let's get started right after this intro. So welcome back, and like I said, we are going to talk to you about Ahmed Al Maghribi's most popular fragrance from their line in my opinion, and this is called Shaikh. Now this was asked to be reviewed by a lot of people. In fact, I had never wanted to review this particular fragrance as such because I thought there was a lot of hype and it's going to be a typical oud rose combo, and we've smelled a lot of oud rose combo, so why do this particular one as such? So still, I somehow did get the decant of it from our decants list itself. So we do have decants, right? So in case you want to experience this particular fragrance, you could try. I think we do have, or I'll share the list with you anyway in case you'd want to try this, right? So I did get this, and if you look at the back, you do notice that I have exhausted a little bit of it. That means that I've been using it, testing it, trying it, and if I've repeatedly tried this particular fragrance, it is actually meaning that it's nice and something wonderful to try. Now, so after that, I did manage to get a partial of it because for this particular review, I did want to show you the entire presentation and how this particular fragrance actually comes in a package, because that also matters, because it's a premium fragrance. You do pay close to 4,000 rupees figure for it. So for that particular price, you do get a fab fragrance. Okay, so the box is somewhat like this. It's a paper box that you do see. It's a black colored box. It's got some kind of a artwork that you kind of see, that you can see when you do this way. So you would be able to see that. And then at the back, it's got Shaikh written. And what else does it say? So it's a 45% volume. That means it's a 55% concentration. So it just gets higher and higher. So like most Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrances, that is pretty high as well, right? So when you open up, you are presented with a very, very beautiful black color leatherette type of a box, which is very, very elegant to look at. Very nice presentation. The box quality feels really, really good. The name Shaikh, right? Now the Shaikh, you kind of really know that these are people who are really rich. These are people that are in leadership position. These people are somebody whom a lot of normal people follow. So somebody very elegant, somebody very affluent, very rich, right? So the presentation is kind of also made to look like that, and that's what I get from this particular presentation. Now I think the box opens like this, and you are actually presented with this satin kind of a cloth that is to give you a very luxurious feeling again, and then it kind of opens up like this, and then you are presented with the bottle. Okay, so let me just show you the bottle. So it kind of looks like this, and pretty well snug fit, but I am just not risking it trying to hold it vertically like this. So very well done kind of a box, feels like a jewelry box almost. Pretty well done. And then of course the bottle. Okay, so let's talk about the bottle. The bottle looks like this. It's got Shaikh written in between. It's a very heavy kind of a bottle, and the cap is pretty heavy as well. Overall, a very, very good quality of bottle, and presentation looks very, very classy, no doubt about it. Makes you really feel something special. Now I think this is not an exact 100 ml. I think it's a little lesser than that. It's a 90 ml. So you kind of get a decent bottle, which is plenty. So if you buy a fragrance like this is something that's going to last you for a really, really long time. Now right at the top also on the cap, it's also got the Ahmed Al Maghribi logo written as well. So let's just do a quick spray. Okay, now this is one of those fragrances, like I introduced, it's one of those fragrances that takes you on a journey, that makes you feel like you put on something special, and that is the key element of this particular fragrance. All throughout you will realize that it's making you feel that way, right? Now it is, like I said at the very top, it's a oud rose combo. Okay, so that is something that you will get. So that means, yes, it's a fragrance that you know very well of, or you might think that we know, but that's where this particular fragrance surprises you, because we have tried a lot of oud rose combinations, but this one goes a little differently from there. Now the first thing that you will notice is that's got a very, very beautiful type of oud, and that smells very natural actually, and it's got that slight animalic, a light not skank, I would say light animalic vibe. That woody vibe is something that you get. So that way it feels very mature, it feels very rich, and it's typical of how the Middle East smells, right? Now, so if you've been to Saudi, for example, especially in Riyadh, wherever you go in Riyadh, any hotel, any lobby that you go, you kind of smell oud everywhere. You have that distinct smell. Now, that's typically what you kind of get here as well. So that feeling of a Middle Eastern, touch, that is something that you get. And that oud here is very, very beautifully done. That is typical. It's not soft, it's not powdery, it's not woody, dry woody per se. It's got that moist animalic vibe that you kind of get in leather. So that is an element that this particular oud is going for. Now there is a rose onto it as well, of course. So there is that rose element, but the rose is very light here. Now it plays very, mildly, very beautifully in terms of how the rose blends. This fragrance also has got, I think, cardamom and saffron as well. So those oriental spices definitely are there. And then of course this also got a couple of more elements that makes this particular fragrance very, very nice. One of them is, I think, definitely the inclusion of oak moss and the patchouli and the beautiful element of sugar. Now aside to this, there are a lot of supporting characters like ambroxan, there is lavender, there is orchid, and all of these elements which are light floral elements that come into this particular fragrance. But the heavy hitters on this definitely are the oud. The oak moss is definitely there. You do get a good sense of rose, you do get a very good sense of sugar and amber as such. Now that's what you predominantly get on this particular fragrance, and that's what makes this very beautiful, rich smelling, and it's a room filler kind of a fragrance. So when you do wear this, be careful of the number of sprays that you want to go. If you are doing your typical 10-12 types sprays normally, then go about 8 sprays on this, because this is loud and it can get a little annoying for the other people if they are not familiar or if they don't like this kind of a scent profile, right? So what it starts with is that beautiful oud and the rose and the little bit of a jammy, sugary vibe, which is that caramel type of a vibe that you get. And then of course you get a little bit of an ambery element and a little bit of a, let's say, a light hint of florals, which are primarily led by rose. Now as the fragrance transitions into its nature, and then after a good 1.5 hours time, the rose combo kind of, rose starts to settle down and you actually start get more of that lavender. Now this fragrance also has got incense, so that's also another Middle Eastern touch that you get. So there is a bakur element that you do get all throughout. So the rose goes off and then you do have the bakur element, you do have the lavender that still continues to give you that powdery effect, and of course the ambroxan gives that big throw into the air, right? So overall it's a very refreshingly well done take on the typical rose oud saffron combo, which is there in a lot of fragrances, right? Now this is something that you should wear exclusively for celebrations. So that's my thing. You can wear this, let's say, for Friday prayers. That would be very, very nice. If you can wear something traditional, and then you want to wear a attire, traditional attire, and then you want to wear this will be fantastic. Do make sure that you don't wear a white and put this on, because it's going to leave stains on your clothes. The other element is celebrations like weddings. Okay, weddings, festivals, parties, these are the places that you should definitely wear this, and it will definitely stand out. This is not a fragrance for day wear. Okay, so don't wear this for day wear. Of course it is definitely a well suited fragrance for evening, night, all of that. If the temperatures are cool, definitely you can pull this off. I would not recommend you to wear this for office, but then if you have a celebration in your office and then you want to wear something there, yes, definitely. Like I said, it's catered to weddings, celebrations, parties, that kind of thing, definitely, right? Now it does make you feel special, and it does make you feel very rich, very premium. When you think about all of the Ahmed Al Maghribi fragrances that are there, especially things like Marj, okay, and then in that case you think this is one of those fragrances that sit right up there, because it's got that very classy appeal, typical Middle Eastern vibe to it, the saffron, the incense, the oud, which is the top predominant note on this, and then of course the slight hint of rose, very well blended with saffron, and then of course sugar. Now if you go on to Fragrantica, you also see that people say that this fragrance reminds them of oud for Badi al Glur, which is oud for greatness, and then the amethyst. I don't totally agree with this, because the oud there is very different. The oud there is very rubbery, the oud there is very mild, and the dominant note in the amethyst is the rose, and in in the Oud for Glory, it's the incense saffron thing. Now, when you probably fuse those fragrances together, will you come up with something like this? Probably yes, slightly in that case, maybe some element of this particular fragrance comes like that. But then the oud on this one is so very rich and very beautifully done that you can't bring those two fragrances together on that note. Now, I will say the way this particular oud smells, it smells like if you thought about Bodacious Blue Sapphire, or if you thought about Zerjoff fragrances where there is oud, so that type of oud, that powdery, that slightly animalic, rich, that poetic type of oud is what you kind of get in this particular fragrance, and that's what makes this an amazing fragrance. In my opinion, this one lasts like crazy good. It does project very well for 1.5 hours to 2 hours plus. It projects very well. You will it's a room filler type of fragrance in my opinion. Everybody would know that you're wearing something special, and either will compliment you or whether will try to stay away from you because they need to get used to this particular type of a fragrance. Okay, so that's why I said it's very Middle Eastern, because if you have been to the Middle East, if you have had friends in the from the Middle East, then you know this fragrance very well. But if you have had friends who are more into designer fragrances, more into fresh fragrances, then they might not really be able to appreciate this, right? Now, on the other side, this is long lasting. It does give you 7-8 hours easily. On skin, it does go softer after the second hour, but you will still be able to smell it on your skin for 6, 7 to 8 hours time. On your apparel, it can be there for that day, 12 hours, 10, 12 hours. It can even be able to, you will be able to sniff it even on the next day as well. So it can lead on to 10, 12 hours and beyond as well. So lasting is not a problem. Of course, it comes with 55% concentration, so lasting is not a problem. What matters is the scent quality, and for that you do get a fantastic juice. Now, like I said, this is about 4,100 rupees. So for that particular price point, I do think you get a fantastic jewel of a fragrance from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi in the form of Bin Shaikh. Now, you can think about this particular fragrance at this price point competing to fragrances that are beyond 20, 30, 40,000 rupees price band. Okay, that's how I would say that this is how it smells, and that's why it would still be a very good investment for you to go in for a fragrance like this, because at this price point, you're not just simply getting a regular type of a fragrance, you do get something very exquisite, which is competing very high-end fragrances. And that's why I would say if you're looking to get Bin Shaikh, then definitely get this and you will absolutely enjoy this. And make sure that if you do get a full bottle, that's going to last you for a very long time, because like I said, it's going to be very exclusive for the type of celebrations, weddings and things like that you would want to wear. So for that reason, it will last you a long time, but definitely a worthy investment and excellent gifting option, because just think about the way the box looks. Okay, just look at this, the presentation, the way the bottle is, simplistic, minimalistic, yet very good. So on the whole, you do get a fantastic package in my opinion. And yes, definitely get this, and it's one of those fragrances that makes you mesmerize and think about how a simple combination of rose, oud, saffron, incense, along with a little bit of a sugar, a little bit of a patchouli can make this wonderful element. The patchouli again is not very prominent. The oak moss probably slightly, but they are all supporting characters. It's a fragrance that's entirely driven by oud, rose, sugar, saffron, incense, and that's about it, and you will absolutely enjoy it, right? So that is what I thought about Bin Shaikh, and I hope you like this particular video, because stay tuned and subscribe, because you are going to get the next video, which is going to be the top 12 fragrances from the house of Ahmed Al Maghribi. So for that video, definitely watch out, and I'll see you on another one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.